Every cruise promises a dream vacation, but what if your next port of call is hiding real dangers? While most travelers imagine sandy beaches and tropical drinks, the truth is that some cruise ports are marked with serious warnings by the U.S. State Department, including violent crime, kidnappings, and even political unrest. This video isn't here to scare you, but to make sure you travel smart, because knowing which ports come with risks can protect you, your family, and your trip. By the end, you'll know which places to be careful about, why they're risky, and what steps you should take if your ship docks there. Don't forget to subscribe for more cruise tips and travel safety guides. It really helps the channel grow and keeps you prepared for every trip. Now let's count down the 7 most dangerous cruise ports visited from the U.S. Number 7. Belize City, Belize. Belize City may look like the perfect Caribbean postcard with blue waters, white beaches, and colorful streets, and that is exactly why over 600,000 cruise passengers visit every year. On the surface, it feels like a dream stop. But the U.S. government has placed Belize City under a Level 3 travel advisory, which means they strongly suggest travelers reconsider travel. The main reason is crime and gang activity that happen outside the protected port area. If you are inside the cruise port, you'll usually feel safe, as it is fenced, patrolled, and designed for tourists. But once you step a few blocks away, the atmosphere can quickly change. Some streets are flagged as dangerous, and there have been cases where tourists walking alone became easy targets for theft, scams, or even violent crime. It's not about creating fear, but about being smart with choices. The port shops already offer plenty of local crafts, food, and music, so you don't necessarily need to wander far to get a taste of Belize. If you do want to explore more, the safest option is booking excursions directly through your cruise line, because these tours keep you in safe zones and always return you on time. Going alone with a random taxi or guide might seem like an adventure, but it could also end up being the kind of story you laugh about later while saying, "Remember when we tried to save $10 and nearly lost 10 years of our life?" It's funny in hindsight, but not so funny when it's happening. Belize truly is a beautiful place, with rich culture and friendly locals, but it is also a reminder that not every port is the same. Sometimes safety means enjoying the ship's pool, a drink on the deck, or simply staying within the secure port area instead of taking risks. As gorgeous as Belize is, being cautious is the smartest souvenir you can take home. And the next place on our list is another port where that same rule of caution matters even more. Number 6. Jamaica. Jamaica is one of the most famous and loved stops in the Caribbean, with close to 2 million cruise passengers visiting every single year. People dream of reggae music, jerk chicken, warm beaches, and the laid-back island vibe that has made Jamaica world famous. But behind all the beauty, there is another side that visitors need to know. The U.S. government has placed Jamaica under a Level 3 travel advisory, which means travelers are asked to reconsider travel. That alone says a lot. In fact, even U.S. government employees are banned from going into certain areas of Jamaica because of the high risk of gang violence, armed robberies, and sadly, one of the highest murder rates in the entire region. Even the all-inclusive resorts, which most travelers assume are completely safe, have reported cases of theft, break-ins, and even assaults. The cruise ports themselves are generally safe, and tourists inside the port won't feel threatened, but the second you leave without a clear plan or local guidance, risks can climb quickly. Wandering around on your own, no matter how adventurous you feel, is not the best idea here. The smartest choice is to only join excursions booked directly through your cruise line, because these are well organized, secure, and always keep your safety in mind. Plus, they make sure you don't miss the ship departure, which is always a bonus. Going solo with a random taxi driver might sound exciting at first, but it could turn into the kind of story where you're joking later, saying, "We wanted a quick ride to the beach and somehow ended up starring in our own action movie." Funny to laugh about after the fact, but not so funny when you're in the middle of it. Jamaica is a place of natural beauty, waterfalls, and music that can make anyone smile. But it is also a reminder that safety should always come before curiosity. If you plan smartly, you can still enjoy its magic without worry. And the next port on our list shows how even a city with an exciting history can hide serious risks for travelers. Number 5. Mazatlan, Mexico. Mazatlan is a bright and lively port on the Pacific coast full of beaches, music, festivals, and colorful streets that seem to dance with energy. It has long been a favorite stop for cruise passengers looking for that classic Mexican charm. But there is a serious side that cannot be ignored. Mazatlan is located in the state of Sinaloa, which is one of the most dangerous states in Mexico and known worldwide for cartel activity and violent crime. The U.S. government has placed this area under a Level 4 travel advisory, which is the highest level and means do not travel. That warning is not given lightly. Cruise ships still include Mazatlan on their itineraries because the port itself is secure and heavily protected, giving tourists a sense of safety. However, once you leave the safe bubble of the port and wander into the city without a plan, the risks grow quickly. Crimes like robbery, kidnapping, and even violent attacks have been reported in the region. Tourists are rarely the main targets, but being in the wrong place at the wrong time can easily make you one. The smartest move for anyone visiting is to stay inside the cruise port area where shops, food, and entertainment already give you a taste of local culture, or to only join official excursions through your cruise line, which are carefully planned to avoid dangerous areas. Deciding to explore on your own may sound adventurous, but it could also turn into one of those stories where you say, "We just wanted tacos and instead we got an unforgettable survival lesson." Funny to tell later, but not when you were actually living it. Mazatlan really is beautiful, with golden beaches and friendly locals, but safety must always come before curiosity. Knowing when to say no to risky adventures is the key to enjoying this stop without stress. And the next port on our list proves that even cities famous for their culture and history can have dangerous corners waiting for careless visitors. Number 4. Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Haiti is a land full of natural beauty, history, and culture, but right now it is sadly one of the most unstable places in the Caribbean. The U.S. government has placed it under a Level 4 travel advisory, which is the strongest warning and clearly says do not travel. The risks here are serious and include violent crime, political unrest, and even kidnappings, which are not just rare events but ongoing problems. Things are so unstable that even U.S. government workers are not allowed to travel there for safety reasons. For cruise passengers, there is one very big exception. Royal Caribbean owns a private beach resort called Labadee. This area is fenced off, heavily guarded, and completely separated from the rest of the country. Once inside, it feels like paradise, with calm beaches, clear waters, cabanas, and fun activities that look like something out of a travel magazine. But the important thing to know is that Labadee is not the real Haiti. It is a controlled and carefully managed tourist bubble. Guests are not allowed to leave the secure zone, and for good reason. Outside the fences, the risks are far too high, and wandering off would be extremely dangerous. So while you may technically have visited Haiti, your experience is limited to this one safe and polished slice. Many cruisers actually love this setup because it feels like you're getting the best of both worlds, the beauty of the island without the dangers. Others joke that it's a little like saying you've been to France just because you ate a croissant at the airport cafe. Funny, yes, but it shows how limited the experience really is. Haiti is a country with so much potential and so many warm people, but until stability returns, safety has to come first. If Haiti appears on your cruise itinerary, remember you'll enjoy a protected paradise and not the true picture of the nation. And the next port on our list is another example where the postcard perfect view hides real risks for travelers who don't stay alert. Number 3. Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago are famous for their lively carnivals, steel drum music, colorful culture, and stunning beaches, which is why more than 100,000 cruise passengers visit every year. But behind the fun atmosphere, there are very real safety concerns. The U.S. government has issued a Level 3 advisory here, which means reconsider travel, and the risks go beyond just petty theft. The warnings include violent crime, kidnappings, and even terrorism, which is unusual for a Caribbean destination and makes this port stand out in a worrying way. Gang activity has been reported in urban areas, and certain neighborhoods are considered so unsafe that U.S. government workers are not even allowed to enter them. Cruise passengers are usually safe inside the secured port zones, but once you leave that bubble and start exploring on your own, the risk level rises quickly and without much warning. Travelers have reported robberies, carjackings, and other sudden incidents, often in areas that look completely normal at first. The best way to stay safe is to join excursions organized by the cruise line, stick to busy public places, and avoid wandering alone into unfamiliar streets. And here's a bit of humor to lighten it up. Think of Trinidad and Tobago like a spicy pepper. From a distance, it looks colorful and exciting, but bite into the wrong one without preparation, and you might regret it instantly. The point is, while this destination offers a lot of beauty and energy, you should treat it with caution and preparation. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Safety comes first, and sometimes the best travel stories are the ones where nothing bad happened at all. Trinidad and Tobago can absolutely be enjoyed, but only if you play it smart and respect the warnings. And speaking of warnings, the next port on our list is one that many travelers dream of visiting, but it has an equally complicated reputation where paradise and risk meet the moment you step off the ship. Number 2. Cartagena, Colombia. Cartagena, Colombia is a city that looks like it came straight out of a postcard, with colorful colonial streets, lively music, and a culture that draws more than 170,000 cruise passengers every single year. On the surface, it feels safe and inviting, especially in the main tourist zones. But the U.S. government still has Colombia under a Level 3 travel advisory, which means reconsider travel. The risks here are tied to Colombia's long history with cartels, guerrilla groups, and organized crime. While the country has made huge progress over the years, danger has not completely disappeared. In Cartagena, petty crime is very common, and many visitors have been targeted by scams, pickpocketing, or even express kidnappings, where criminals demand quick ransoms. Tourists often get caught off guard because the old town is so beautiful, it's easy to forget you're still in a risky environment. And here's a bit of humor to keep it real. Think of Cartagena like a gorgeous Instagram filter. It looks perfect at first glance, but if you swipe too far without caution, you'll see the flaws pop out. To stay safe, cruisers should always stick with excursions booked through the cruise line, travel in groups, and avoid flashing cash, jewelry, or expensive phones that can make them stand out as targets. Even walking alone down a quiet street can invite unwanted attention, so it's better to stay in busy, well-lit areas. Cartagena is breathtaking, but its unpredictability is exactly what makes it dangerous. You never know when a beautiful afternoon could take a wrong turn if you are not paying attention. And while Colombia may feel like a mix of paradise and risk, our final port in this countdown shows just how far things can fall when a dream destination becomes known worldwide as one of the most dangerous places to visit.
Number 1. Acapulco, Mexico. Acapulco, Mexico was once the shining jewel of the Pacific coast, a glamorous resort city where Hollywood stars used to vacation. But today, it holds a very different reputation. The U.S. government has given Acapulco a Level 4 travel advisory, which is the highest warning possible and means do not travel. The reasons are grim. Cartel violence, homicides, extortion, and kidnappings happen at alarming rates, making it one of the most dangerous places in the Western Hemisphere. Despite this, some cruise ships still dock in Acapulco, and the port area itself is usually secure, but the real danger begins the moment travelers step beyond that bubble. Violence here can break out suddenly with little or no warning, leaving visitors caught in terrifying situations. Tourists wandering outside the safe zones risk becoming easy targets, and in a city where law enforcement struggles to keep control, the risks are simply too high. For cruise passengers, the safest choice is honestly to just enjoy the ship while it's in port, because no beach or souvenir is worth gambling with your safety. To add a little humor, visiting Acapulco today is kind of like opening an old fridge. Once it was full of good stuff, but now it's mostly danger you don't want to touch. This city is a sad reminder of how quickly a paradise can turn into a high-risk zone when crime and violence take over. Acapulco may still have the scenery of a dream vacation, but the reality is very different, which is why it tops our list as the most dangerous cruise port. And here's the big lesson from the whole countdown. Cruising is still a safe and wonderful way to travel, but the moment you step off the ship, you need to know where you are, what the risks are, and how to protect yourself so that your dream vacation doesn't turn into a nightmare.
And that wraps up our list of the most dangerous cruise ports in the world. Remember, cruising is still one of the safest and most relaxing ways to travel, but it always pays to stay alert and informed when stepping off the ship. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss more travel tips and cruise secrets. And now, go ahead and click any of the videos on your screen. I'll see you in a moment.